So I'm here with Phil Birchinall, who is Senior Director of Immersive Content at Discovery Education. Now, Discovery Education Expresso has been a key resource at Bett for as long as I can remember, and one of the exciting things about coming back each year is seeing how it evolves. In fact, I think this year is the 20th anniversary of Discovery Education. So, Phil, are you celebrating with any new updates or product launches?
It's been quite an amazing 20 years, actually. Looking back, when we were innovating in delivering video to the classroom, it doesn't seem that long ago, but so much has changed since. And we're marking this year, this celebration, with actually quite a major upgrade to the service, new interactivity, new content, new ways of accessing that content, and new ways of doing things with the content as well, which I think is a very, very important step up for us too. And of course, individuality, so individual learning pathways through our content, new ways for teachers to deliver it to individual students, to pupils, and for them to do more with it as well. So it's flexible and it can be delivered in a number of ways through our new video player and through quiz and through interactive content like immersive as well. So augmented reality, which we're bringing into the mix as well. So a lot going on. We've got new channels for SATs. So we've got 71 pathways through for spelling and grammar. For maths, we've got new assembly templates as well, which I think is quite important these days, that we can provide a starting point for teachers and for pupils too, so that they can, in times that are quite uncertain, for moments of reflection and contemplation as well, which I think they really, really value from us too.
So it sounds like there's been a lot of significant changes to Expresso over the last year. If you had to highlight just a few, which ones would you pick out?
I think for me, things like Studio, which is an interactive authoring platform. So again, rather than just consuming content, what we're doing is handing the content over to teachers and to pupils so that they can start to reform, curate, and create their own versions of that content, and even introduce their content too into the mix and present that in different ways. I think that's a major, major step. The other one, which is perhaps a little bit more subtle, is that we have individual logins now for pupils. But what that means is, whereas previously you'd be authoring for a whole class or a year, now what you're doing is you can author individually, so you can target pupils. They can respond, so you know exactly what's happening as well with them. Another big thing is assessment. We brought in Quiz this year, and Quiz allows you to create quizzes, obviously. On the fly, you can look at the understanding of pupils as the lesson progresses. You can build a quiz into a video as well. So if your pupils are watching a video, then you can gauge what they're feeling about that as the lesson progresses. A big innovation, very, very close to my heart as Senior Director of Immersive Content, is the introduction of Sandbox AR, which is a free augmented reality app that goes beyond, again, like Studio, not just delivering content to students, but actually allowing them to create their own worlds and being able to explore those and inhabit them life-size. So if they build something that's on their tabletop, they can expand that to life-size. If they build a Roman temple or an Egyptian temple, or they go and exploring the Maya, they can build that in real life-size, walk around it, and record their view of it as they go through it as well. That's incredibly engaging to pupils, and something we know teachers really appreciate, because it's not just engaging them in the activity, it's really engaging them in the learning, and beyond that, investing in the learning as well, which is what we really want.
It's important that anything in EdTech genuinely enriches learning. How does the digital content in Expresso achieve this?
I think any digital platform can deliver content. To really engage and to really make that effective and to move the needle in terms of teaching and learning and delivering learning outcomes, it has to be incredibly accessible. And I don't mean just accessible in terms of can you see it and can you interpret it. It has to be accessible in terms of age appropriateness as well. So are we targeting it at the right age group? It's one thing to say this is a Key Stage 1, upper Key Stage 2 activity perhaps, but if the content doesn't match that and if it's not delivered with the right language, then that's not going to get through. And you're crucially leaving the teacher with an extra step to take as well to interpret themselves. And if you do that, that's a massive barrier and they're not going to do that. So we spend a lot of time making sure that our content is very age appropriate, subject specific, very accurate, but also very concise as well. You can't give a 20-minute video on a topic and expect a group of year threes to stay with that content. not because of attention span issues, but because there's too much to do in the classroom. And really what we're doing is it's about getting a point across, getting a concept across, and embedding that learning. So it's really, really important that our video player, which has been redone as well as part of this new platform upgrade, really delivers that. So, with the text that comes along with that accompanies immersive reader, all of these things together mean that you've got a fully packaged learning object to present to your class.
So if people are excited by this and want to take a closer look for themselves, where can they see Espresso in action?
They can log on to discoveryeducation.co.uk. From there, they can get a trial and pick up some of the content, read about it there. But also, if they're here in Bett this week, on Friday, we've got Dale Lawson from Cornerstone Trust. And he's a real power user of Espresso, real enthusiast. And he speaks fantastically about Espresso. And because it's right from the classroom, they can hear right from the horse's mouth as to how Espresso is used and how it can be used in the ways that I've just described with the new features of the platform as well. And he's speaking on Friday, 1:20, and that's the 25th.
That sounds like a great opportunity to dive into some of these new features. And thanks again, Phil, for telling us about all these exciting new developments that are happening on your anniversary year.